Howdy y'all, welcome to Nerd Studio. We're out at the range today with the Vedder LightTuk holster. Stay tuned.
Yeehaw!
A couple of weeks ago, the folks from Vedder Holsters got a hold of me and asked if I was interested in taking their LightTuk model for a spin. And I almost never turn that opportunity down. It's fun reviewing products, and even better when the manufacturer is willing to send you one and check it out. So I asked for one in the Glock 43 size, and they promptly sent it out, and I've been wearing it for a couple of weeks. Here's some impressions. This holster has more features than any holster of this type that I've ever seen. I'm just going to run down the list for you because I think it's pretty impressive. First of all, you got adjustable ride height. This clip moves up and down 3 different positions, low, medium, and high. You've got adjustable retention, of course. The clip gives you 30 degrees of cant back and forth. The Kydex is really thin and light. It's .080 Kydex, but it's very, very sturdy. Good, solid holster, yet still, light. It doesn't add a bunch of bulk to your belt. One of my favorite features, they call this the rock solid spring steel clip. We'll talk a lot more about that in a minute. You've got a full sight channel in the holster here, so I put TFO sights on all my Glocks, and no problem fitting that in the holster. It's a good snug fit. You've got a sweat shield for the gun, so that's got right there, got you covered. It's going to cover your slide, so you're not getting your slide of your gun all sweaty. The holster is handcrafted, so amazingly though, they're getting them out in less than 3 days, and they're making them to order. $54.99 puts this guy in your pocket. That, I think, we'll talk more about the price point in a bit, but I'm liking that quite a bit. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee, lifetime warranty, handcrafted in the USA. And like I said, 3 days or less to get the holster to you. I've looked at a lot of these holsters that look very compelling, and they're saying, lead time of 3 to 4 weeks. So 3 days is pretty awesome. It is available in different colors and designs. You can get all of the carbon fiber look and all of that. They do offer it. This is basic black. Arguably, the holy grail of concealed carry is finding the perfect holster. If you watch the channel, I've been on that search for, as long as I've been carrying a firearm. And I think it's probably a story that most of you can relate to. So what's a perfect holster? Well, I think that varies from shooter to shooter. For me, comfort is really high because, I'm a big guy. And so how a holster wears when you've got the egg-shaped body is very different than somebody who is, I guess, more typical or typically shaped. So comfort's a big deal. How sturdy the holster is. The holster's got to wear well. I've had some holsters that, 6 or 8 months worth of wear, and they start to break down and some of the features don't work as well. Kydex is a good choice for that. And last, and really not necessarily the least out of all the concerns, but versatility is a really good thing. I don't want to have to buy different holsters for different applications. I'd like a holster that did them all. Who wouldn't? So, you get the right retention on all the things you need, and then you want to be able to wear it in different positions. So those are the big things that make up the perfect holster for me. So how close does the Vedder LightTuk get to my definition of a perfect holster? Well, let's talk about that. First of all, let's talk about the hardware on this holster. It's one of my biggest pet peeves with holsters. I bought them, they're $70 or $80, and they come with plastic clips that don't stay on your belt, or the rubber grommets and things in it split and give way. The retention system they don't put a big enough spacer in there, or the spacer's too hard or too brittle. So, I think it's the number one place where these holster manufacturers go wrong. Everybody's got the Kydex down. I think the Kydex makes sense, but they go cheap on the hardware, and it just ticks me off. So let's talk about the hardware here on the LightTuk. It is, for a Kydex holster of this type, the best hardware I've ever seen anyone ship their holster with. Now, when you consider the price point of $54.99, which puts them, in my opinion, maybe a little above the median price range, the fact that they're sending out some of the best hardware on the holster, that speaks a lot for how they feel about their product. The spacer in here for adjusting the retention, this is large enough to give you a good range of retention. It is also durable enough that it's going to allow you to put as much torque on that thing as you're going to want without splitting. And that, I've actually seen this happen on several holsters. They've used a really good quality spacer in there. The screws and all of the hardware to put all of this stuff together is high quality. I'm not worried about stripping any of them out. None of this feels like it's going to fall apart. They've used good hardware. The number one thing that I've got to say about the hardware is this spring clip. And nothing drives me more nuts than wearing a holster. You put it on, and particularly because of the shape of my body, I'll go throughout the day and I'll sit and stand and sit and stand and kneel. Although these days kneeling's not so much in the cards. And then I'll find that the holster's backed its way off my belt. That is if I order your holster and I've got to replace your clip because you didn't ship it with a decent clip, particularly if you're going to expect premium prices out of it, that makes me nuts. This clip is amazing. Not only is it very versatile, and we're going to get into that, it is easy to get on and off your belt, but it is strong enough to stay attached no matter what you're doing. I feel like I could get and roll around on the ground. I can, if I need to, I can get in a prone position. I can go work at my desk all day, and that clip is going to stay on the belt. So I'm very, very impressed. It's probably, for me, the number one feature is the quality of the clip they used on this belt or on the holster. And they sell these clips, folks, $5.99 a pop. If you're you get a holster and you need to replace it and you want a good solid single clip, man, go look at Vedder holsters. That's the real deal. I've been carrying the holster for a couple of weeks now in a bunch of different situations. You all know I'm an office worker. I'm a software developer. So, I've been carrying it at my desk in a seated position a lot, working at the computer. I also work in a gun-free zone, so when I actually go into the office, I get to work from home some. And when I go into the office, of course, I have to disarm, gun-free zone. And so, I've gotten experience with what's it like to have to do that in the car in a seated position, being a big guy. Pull the holster off, you take the gun out of it, lock the gun up, put it back into the holster, get it on my body, and what that's like to do without, drawing attention in a parking lot. And so I've got experience now doing that. We also did a range day out here on the 15th. If you go back and look a couple videos back, we got some video of that. I was wearing the LightTuk through that. That was an incredibly sweaty day, and in fact, had another one of those. We were out doing some testing with Tannerite the other day, and it was about 95. No undershirt, wearing the holster up against my bare skin. I gotta say, these style holsters, when you're a big guy, there is no such thing as, hey, I never feel the thing, or I don't notice it's there. That's not going to happen, particularly if you're not wearing an undershirt. I'm wearing an undershirt today because I'm going to show you some things. I don't want to, flash the chub at you. But as far as these holsters go, this is the most comfortable one I've ever worn. I like the fact that it has the sweat shield, that it covers the slide on the gun, that the slide tends to get really pokey into the chub. So the fact that they've gone that extra mile to put the Kydex there really does make a difference. They have spent a lot of time working the edges of this Kydex to round it off. That makes a big difference, particularly if you're wearing this without an undershirt. The way that they've molded the Kydex here makes it so that I don't know how to demonstrate this, but as you change positions where if your belt doesn't move, but the rest of your body does, which is common for a big guy like me, when the holster is slightly curved and they've taken the time to really work on the edge of the Kydex, that's going to cause that not to catch and jam into your skin, but slide along your skin a little better. This is by far the most comfortable version of a Kydex holster I've ever worn. I like it. When I went down the feature list, I talked about the ability to adjust the cant on this holster 30 degrees back and forth. What's that going to allow you to do? It lets you wear the gun in a lot of different positions so that no matter where you've got it, you've got the right cant for the draw that you need. So I've been able to carry this holster 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 5 o'clock really without any issues. And I've had this feature on some other holsters, and it's not been done so successfully. And what it really comes down to is the mounting hardware, the system that they use to do that adjustment, oftentimes very quickly will lose the ability for the clip to lock in place, and then the holster starts to move on you. So, and that can be very dangerous, particularly if you've got quite a bit of cant to the holster and you practice with it in one position, you've set the cant, and then if you had to go use the gun in a gunfight and the gun wasn't where you thought it was, that would be very bad. So it's critical that if you've got that ability to adjust cant, that the clip stay locked in place where you put it. How Vedder solved that problem was by using really high quality spacers back here. This always baffles me when I get these holsters. I can't imagine the cost between using a good quality rubber doodad back there and using a cheap one is that big a deal, but I suppose in volume, or maybe they just don't understand the importance. So I've made this adjustment probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 times playing around with the holster, and I've noticed, I've done this enough now, I've noticed that you're going to know pretty quick if those rubber spacers are going to split or deform on you, and if you're going to have problems keeping that clip in place. So far, this looks great. They've made the right choice in using good quality rubber doodads. So that adjustment is the real deal. It works and makes this holster meet my criteria for versatile. So is this the Holy Grail? How close is the Vedder LightTuk to meeting my definition of perfection? The answer is, yeah, pretty close. Certainly closer than any holster of this style. And there's, you've got several styles of these Kydex holsters. You got them that are more the pancake size that get 2 clips, really lend themselves to the 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock position. This one being a single clip is designed, more around the appendix wear, but it certainly has the versatility to get in any of those positions and do that well. The comfort is completely there, at least far better than any holster of this style I've ever worn. Most of the time when I wear holsters that are Kydex like this, I have to wear an undershirt. I have found that this holster is plenty comfortable without the undershirt because of the way they've designed the Kydex and the fact they put the sweat shield up here. There's nothing worse than trying to wear a holster all day and having it feel like you've got an iron bar jabbing in your side. The amount of discomfort with this holster, I won't say I don't notice that it's there, but it's pretty negligible and really easy to work with. So it's an all-day wearer. You can't ask for much more, and you can't argue with Kydex for sturdy. One feature I failed to mention, this is a LightTuk holster, so there's space in between the clip and the holster to tuck your shirt in if that's what you like to do. It's not something I do. I wear the shirt over the top of the holster, but if that's how you carry, this does have that ability as well. I'm really impressed with this holster. This is my new fave. This is my everyday carry holster for my Glock 43. I'm excited to try other products from Vedder. I think they've really got something. The craftsmanship that they've, I'm just about said a bad word, the craftsmanship that they put into this thing really does show, particularly if comfort is a concern for you. Being able to wear one of these without an undershirt on, boys and girls, it gets hot in North Carolina, it's humid out today, and to be able to do that without an undershirt on is a big deal for me, particularly a man of my size. So this holster is really getting it done. Can't wait to try more. There you go, the LightTuk from Vedder. Always remember, folks, anyone can shoot and have fun, and I hope you'll get out and do it. We'll see you next time.
Yeehaw!